This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, Dunedin bus drivers are refusing to use a bus stop in Green Island, say it's too dangerous. Competition in the annual Forest and Bird of the Year event is heating up, with voting closing this weekend. And a chaplain from the University of Otago is retiring after 20 years serving the campus and wider community. Kia ora, good evening. I'm Daryl Baser. Dunedin bus drivers are refusing to use a bus stop at Green Island, saying it's too dangerous. The union, which represents Go Bus drivers, is calling on the Dunedin City Council to make the stop larger and say their members won't use it until then.
Since Wednesday, there's been no point in trying to catch the bus from this bus stop on Dunedin's main South Road outside the Green Island Tennis Club, because it was being boycotted by bus drivers. They were refusing to stop here because when there were vehicles parked in the adjacent car parks, there wasn't enough space to allow buses in.
And as you can see, the bus takes all the bus stop sign as it is, and there's no room for movement in and out.
Dunedin Tramways Union Secretary Philip Matthews says the problem started when the bus space was repainted, minus dashed yellow lines on both sides to give buses room to slip in and out.
Basically, it was all got rid of and replaced, and we've been asking with the City Council and the Regional Council to extend it so that we can go in and out with yellow lines to make it safe.
The two main concerns for the drivers were the risk of hitting a parked car, as well as having to double park if they couldn't get into the bus stop. Matthews says one driver had already got into trouble with the police for double parking.
And the DCC is going to be taking over the bus stops at the end of the year, or hopefully take over. Why not get this part fixed now?
The Dunedin City Council says it's taken steps to sort the issue out by removing parking spaces on either side of the stop, with temporary bollards being put in place. In Dunedin, The South Today.
The first day of NCEA exams for pupils at Otago Boys High School was disrupted after an anonymous threat was made this morning. Police and emergency service cordons around the school were lifted just before 10 a.m, having been in place for nearly 2.5 hours. Police say a threat was made in relation to Otago Boys about 7 a.m, resulting in the evacuation of the school as a precaution. The incident disrupted the start of exams, prompting the decision to move some of the exams to other schools. Nearby Arthur Street School was also affected by the incident and decided to close for the day. Competition in the annual Forest and Bird of the Year event is heating up, with voting closing this weekend. One of the birds in the running has attracted a few heavyweight supporters from town and gown. It's the final countdown.
So people can vote until Sunday 5 o'clock. They can go on to birdoftheyear.org.nz to cast their vote, or they can have a look at our Facebook page, our Twitter feed and our Instagram on ways to vote.
There's just a couple of days until voting closes in the annual Bird of the Year competition, and Team Hoiho have enlisted some major supporters.
It's with a heavy heart that I can no longer bring myself to support Kereru for Bird of the Year. Not when the mainland population of our own precious megachonk, the Hoiho, is in such a parlous state. We're lucky here in New Zealand's wildlife capital to have the yellow-eyed penguin here on our doorstep, on the Otago Peninsula, and very occasionally here in the Octagon.
Along with Dunedin's newly elected Mayor Aaron Hawkins, across town at the University of Otago, they're also in a flap to help save the Hoiho.
Kia ora, my name's Thor from the University of Otago Zoology Department, and we want you to vote Hoiho for Bird of the Year.
Dunedin's Team Hoiho say the flightless seabird is amongst the most endangered of the birds on this year's list.
Hoiho are in serious trouble, yeah. So if we don't take preventative actions now, we're going to lose them on the mainland, and we haven't really taken stock of the mainland, of the subantarctic portion of the population.
The Bird of the Year competition is now in its 14th year, and Mel Young of Team Hoiho says it always lifts the profile of the plight of New Zealand's native birds.
There's always been a lot of international media attention, particularly last year with Kereru winning, who are known as the notoriously drunk pigeon. So advocacy is really the key thing. We want everyday New Zealanders to know the threats that are facing our native endemic birds.
Voting in the Bird of the Year competition closes at 5 p.m. on Sunday, November the 10th. In Dunedin, the South Today. There was meant to be a friendly sausage sizzle at the Southland Institute of Technology, held by a group of government ministers. But the parliamentary delegation of MPs Jan Logie, Sarah Dowie and Liz Craig bit off more than they could chew when Invercargill Mayor Tim Shabot crashed the party with an agitated student.
But it feels sort of funny you're having this to sort of try and open up that Parliament's approachable and that. Yet, I mean, as a student, it's like you're rejecting my voice. The Ministry of Education said that 4 weeks was not enough time to fully address stakeholder concerns about the change of name of a university. So how on earth is 7 weeks enough time to address the concerns of something that will affect?
The event is part of the Parliamentary Outreach Programme with MPs visiting different regions of the country. SIT student Jeff McClelland joined Mayor Shabot in questioning the MPs about the government's Polytechnic proposal. If adopted following consultation, the proposal is set to see all 16 polytechnics around the country merge into one, which has been met with strong opposition in Otago and Southland. Green MP Jan Logie says decisions haven't been made yet. A chaplain from the University of Otago is retiring after 20 years of serving both the campus and wider community. Over the past 2 decades, Methodist Minister Greg Hewson has offered support at times of grief, as well as being available for a chat with anyone needing to talk.
Looking forward to a well-earned retirement, University of Otago chaplain Greg Hewson has spent 20 years serving the local campus. His official farewell was held at St Margaret's College on Tuesday, with about 150 people attending, and a presentation of a special gift, exactly 30 years since he was ordained as minister.
The representative of the Māori Centre, Vicky Totoro, presented me with this beautiful pounamu which came with all the love and the aroha of the Māori Centre, and I will treasure this as I wear it on into the future, alongside a greenstone cross that I was given when I was ordained, which was 30 years ago yesterday. So my farewell was held on the 5th of November, which was 30 years after my ordination in Wellington in 1989.
His term has encompassed the Baldwin Street wheelie bin death, the murder of Sophie Elliott, and student deaths through illness or suicide. Hewson's final year on duty has been one of his busiest, leading Dunedin's community service marking Christchurch's mosque shootings and offering assistance to those affected by the death of Sophia Crestani at a Dundas Street party.
We're often involved in responding to these sad events, and that will sometimes lead to leading funerals and memorial services and tree plantings and following up with grieving people for many months or even years to come.
But the work of a university chaplain is not just grief and tragedy counselling.
There's a lot of joyful times, there's a lot of celebrating with students at times of graduation. We offer services of Thanksgiving each graduation day. We conduct weddings for students and staff.
He says chaplains are seeing the barriers between different religious denominations gradually broken down.
Once many years ago, before exams, a young woman came in here quite upset, and she said, "Well, pray for me, Father, before my exam. I don't know whether I will pass this one." And I said to her, "Well, I'm not actually a Catholic priest. I'm a minister of the Methodist Church." And she said, "I don't care, pray for me, Father, pray for me." So I did.
Hewson says his retirement will give him more time with family and grandchildren, as well as more time to paint his house and walk the beach. In Dunedin, the South Today.
And still to come on the South Today, we bend our elbows at Dunedin's Craft Beer Fest and check out Canterbury's Tasman River. See you after the break.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
Lana Castle is proud to showcase their new retail space. Simply purchase an annual garden pass for year-round access to the garden, cafe and gift shop, or apply for a host card giving you full access to the castle, ballroom, cafe, gift shop and garden when accompanied by a full paying guest. Check out the website for full terms and conditions. If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
No mai no, welcome back. Thousands of beer lovers are converging on Forsyth Bar Stadium for the 7th annual Dunedin Craft Beer and Food Festival. Following the success of last year's sold-out event, the Otago University Students Association has added a Friday session for the first time.
This year's Craft Beer and Food Festival at Dunedin's Forsyth Bar Stadium is set to see over 80 vendors and over 100 breweries being represented, along with 6 musical acts to entertain the crowds. Now in its 7th year, the festival has been extended to 2 days due to popular demand.
So this year is the first year that we've taken the festival for 2 days. So the last 3 years we've sold out at 6,000 tickets just on the Saturday, so we kind of took a punt and added a whole nother day. So it's quite exciting.
Laura Archer of the Dunsterdam Express is promoting a beer flavoured with toasted hemp seeds.
But we've chosen to make this today so that we can teach people about hemp seed, because it is the world's most nutritionally complete food. It is very high in 3 different omega acids that our bodies need. It has lots of fibre and lots of protein in it, so it's a great dairy alternative for a well-balanced diet.
She's well aware that cannabis is a hemp plant, but says that industrial legally grown hemp has no psychoactive properties.
It's also only been since last year that it's been legal for human consumption, despite the fact that it has no psychoactive properties to it.
Schroeder says ticket sales for both days have been doing well.
Sales have been amazing. Support that we've had from the Dunedin community is just outstanding. So yeah, it's exciting.
Dunedin band The Chills and Wellington's Phoenix Foundation are set to perform both tonight and late tomorrow afternoon. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Work being done to restore Canterbury's Tasman River has been recognised at the 2019 New Zealand River of the Year Awards. For the past 15 years, the Department of Conservation, power companies and volunteers have been working to protect and restore the river's natural ecosystem.
So 15 years ago when I arrived here, we were just setting up this Tasman Predator project, and it was always designed to be on a large scale to try and make a difference to all the riverbed birds that were breeding here, and also the flagship species, which is khaki or black stilt. And back in those days there were only about 9 or 10 pairs breeding in the wild, whereas now we've got to a point where we've got about 30 pairs. Braided rivers are a pretty unique habitat in New Zealand. They're a dynamic system, so they're always changing, they're always moving. And this is one of our bigger ones, so on a direct line across the other side it's over 4 kilometres. But this is one of a whole series of them that run all up the Canterbury foothills, and they're all part of the system that's created these glacial lakes. So Russell lupins in a riverbed provide habitat for predators. They reduce the area that birds can breed in, and then they stabilise the rivers as well, so ultimately other weed species will come in and grow. When I arrived here we were spending around about $70,000 on contractor time, spraying mainly Russell lupins but also the broom and willows. This last season we're down to about $26,000, so we feel like we're slowly starting to get on top of it. In the upper part of the valley we've got a bunch of volunteers that live in Araki village, and they check a whole heap of traps for us. So annually we take about 500 hedgehogs out of the system, 450 stoats, and this last year was one of our lowest number of cats, but we still took 140 odd cats. Some of the other species that we've seen increase are black-fronted tern. In the very first days of doing this project, we were struggling to find 30 nests to monitor. Now, this last season, we had 380 nests. So we're starting to see some success in some of these species. This project is run by DOC, but we couldn't manage it without a whole lot of other players. So Glentana Station, which is just behind us, Mount Cook Station on the other side, they allow us to put traps into their property. Some of it is funded by what's called Project River Recovery, which is a mitigation project for the hydroelectric development, and that's funded by Meridian and Genesis. There's a whole group of people that are contributing to this project. I arrived when this project was just kicking off, so I think it's great having someone who has their oversight and continuity with it over a period of time, and I guess I'll be here for a few more years yet, potentially.
After the break on the South Today, the pressure is on for businesses impacted by Dunedin's new hospital project, and we have a look at the weekend's weather. See you soon.
When it's time to say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489-2274.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Step into Shop on Carroll and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality, stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
Thanks for staying with us. The clock is ticking for businesses set to be displaced by the new Dunedin hospital build. It's understood none of them have found new sites for their businesses, and most aren't saying much about their intentions. The land occupied by the businesses has already been bought, and plans are in place to start demolition early next year before the construction of the new hospital. Some tenants are set to leave by the end of this year, but the majority are due to leave early next year. Businesses affected include Warehouse Stationery, Anytime Fitness and Lighting Direct. The University of Otago also has offices on the site set to be demolished. And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. Dunedin bus drivers have been refusing to use a bus stop in Green Island, saying it's too dangerous for drivers and passengers. Competition in the annual Forest and Bird of the Year competition is heating up, with Team Hoiho pulling strings aiming for the win. And University of Otago chaplain Greg Hewson is retiring after 20 years, serving both the campus and wider community. Time now for a look at what's happening in tomorrow's Otago Daily Times. Welcome the editor, Mr. Barry Stewart.
Hello, Daryl.
Hello.
There's been a bit of debate around the city about the George Street upgrade, so the $28 million upgrade. We pose, will it kill the heart of the city or breathe new life into it? So features writer Bruce Monroe looks at both sides of that debate in a special report in the Weekend Mix tomorrow, so look out for that one. Interesting debate. Southern District Health Board again, well-intentioned plans to improve maternity services in the south. Instead, it has led to confusion. A review released today has said so. And again, not another good result from that. A few news items in the city today. Bomb threat at Otago Boys High School led to a temporary evacuation of that school today, and a fire at Bucklands Crossing north of Dunedin is continuing, and it has been tackled by helicopters with monsoon buckets. So we'll have more details on both of those stories In tomorrow's paper, a rugby player and junior weightlifting world champion may have had his international sporting career dreams dashed. So that is a story on the court page tomorrow, so look out for that. In the regions, more boots on the ground and no overnight campsites. Those are the main tweaks to the Queenstown Lakes District Council's freedom camping strategy this summer. Sport and not a lot of rugby to be seen. There you go. So we're back into cricket, which is good news. Black Capes are playing England in a T20 match tonight. I think it started at 6 o'clock, so we'll have details of that in the paper tomorrow, and plenty of other action around the sporting fields as well.
Excellent. Thank you, Barry.
Thank you.
All that and more in tomorrow's ODT. Time now for a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Beginning with today's southern view, a midday walk for man and dog at the beach in Aramoana. Looking at the situation, an active trough of low pressure moves over the South Island this weekend, bringing rain and colder southwesterly winds to the region. Starting off at the northwest of the South Island, Greymouth and Westport are set for grey skies, showers and the potential of thunderstorms with 18 degrees. Across to the northeast, Nelson and Blenheim can expect cloudy skies, showers and 19 degrees. Moving down to Canterbury, you'll have some cloudy skies across this area. Kaikoura you should reach 23, Christchurch and Ashburton you're both looking at a pleasant 24 degrees. Down to the southern towns, everyone here should hunt for their coat or umbrella as you're due for northwesterlies and rain. The Catalans heads for 17, Balclutha 16, while Gore and Lumsden can both expect 15 degrees. Dashing across to the Central Lakes, Queenstown, Wanaka and Alexandra are all in for fresh northwesterlies and cloud increasing. Wanaka and Queenstown aim for 19, Alexandra should do one better on 20, while Te Anau is set for 14 degrees and you should expect rain. Up to the northern towns, along the coast, Timaru and Oamaru are set for light winds and some high cloud. Timaru heads for 23 and Oamaru for 22. Further inland, Twizel and Omarama are also set for moderate northwesterlies and cloud increasing with 19 degrees. In Dunedin, cloudy tonight with northeasterlies and an overnight low of 10. Fine and sunny periods tomorrow with some high cloud, mild and moderate northeasterlies, a high of 18 and a low of 13. Warmer northerlies freshening on Saturday with cloud increasing and some rain at night, a high of 21 and a low of 9. And heading for Invercargill, rain tonight with fresh northwesterlies and a low of 12 degrees. Rain easing to showers on Saturday with fresh gusty northwesterlies decreasing and dying out, a high of 15 and a low of 7. Showers on Sunday with fresh cold southwesterly winds, a high of 9 and a low of 6. And that's all from the South Today team for Friday and for the week. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Have a great evening and weekend. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.